Hi, I'm Eric Crawford from WDRB Sports, and I'll be the first to admit that I should probably be in front of a much better backdrop than my own basement to tell you this story that I want to spend the next few minutes telling you. I want to talk to you about Louisville Live, which has become the most visually stunning event on the University of Louisville sports calendar. There's no competition. It began at 4th Street Live. A year ago, they held it at Churchill Downs. This week, they will hold it at Louisville Slugger Field, and it'll be interesting to see what beautiful visuals we get out of that. But I wanted to get behind it for the story behind the event and the vision behind the event. And to do that, there's no better person to talk to than Louisville Senior Associate Athletic Director Lottie Stockwell, who is the point person for putting all of this together.
I think one of the things that's fun about, or that I get a lot out of this event, is that it really takes every single department. Yeah. Like has to be on board, from facilities to events to sports information and marketing and game production. Like at the busiest time of the year, everybody has to take on one more thing.
This event is special to me because I covered the first one in 2018. It was my first event back after spending a month recovering from a stroke. I was scared to death when I showed up to cover that first Louisville Live at 4th Street Live. I didn't know what to expect. I had to fight through a huge crowd just to get to my seat. I had already made a couple of trial runs to Target just to see how I could handle it and left without buying anything, if that tells you anything about my experience. And yet, this was an important event for Louisville basketball. They put it together because, if you'll remember, it was a fractured fan base back then. It was a frustrated fan base. In the wake of a lot of scandals, they were just looking to connect this program back to its fan base and back to the city.
That was so much of the storytelling in its inception in 2018, really, was trying to create an opportunity to kind of reestablish some connective tissue after challenges of the previous few years, and do something, kind of usher in a new chapter in a different way.
Well, back in that first Louisville Live, I wasn't sure really what I had just seen. It was loud, it was fun. There were a lot of good visuals out there, I knew, but I didn't really know that it had hit a home run with fans because they were packed in so tight around the court. I didn't know how well they could see, didn't know who really could get a view of it. Maybe it was a good TV event. It wasn't until I got home and I turned out the lights and flipped open the laptop and started looking at the pictures that came from it that I realized this thing is beautiful. This was a stunning event. And it's in those pictures and in the video that comes from it that the event gets a lot of its life.
And that visual of just like people smushed in, dying to see it, hanging off balconies, all of that to really kind of get back to that feeling of passion for Louisville basketball. Yeah. It's experience for everyone that's there, but from a brand perspective, it lives on in its imagery, in the storytelling of the event, and sometimes even in an exponentially bigger way. And so we knew 4th Street, exactly the shot you're talking about, where you just see that massive kind of fans encircling the entire space vertically and around the court. At Churchill, we knew we wanted basketball with the twin spires in the background, and here it'll be really neat.
Well, this year at Louisville Slugger Field, the event gets a few new wrinkles. It gets a full court, basketball court for the first time. You can do that with the size of a baseball stadium. It gets Jack Harlow. Think about this. A week from now, he'll be hosting and the musical guest of Saturday Night Live, but this week, he's at Louisville Live, and he wanted to be there. They didn't have to go out and solicit him. He's a very community-minded guy and deserves a lot of credit for that. There are a few other wrinkles.
This year, with it working out with, of course, Jack Harlow's schedule, he wanted to be part of it, and we certainly appreciated that. But the scheduling was a little more difficult. Hardest working man in show business right now, right? He's everywhere. And then he's doing stuff. We've got the full court, the bridges, the rest of the cityscape, and that feels right. I think sometimes even we're looking for ways to make it new, to make it fresh, even for ourselves, let alone for the fans. And one thing that we're excited about this year, it's an integrated show. So it won't be, full segment of women and then a full segment of men. They'll be playing together, which there'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I couldn't let Lottie get away without asking her, what's next.
It's a big city, and we've got a long list, but the, fan engagement is such a huge part of it, but obviously recruiting visits are too. And for official visits, we usually, of course, bring in both official and unofficial, but for official visits, you have to be 1 mile radius of the campus. So we've been lucky to be able to use Belknap for Churchill and HSC for the downtown spaces. But it's not like we could just say, oh, we'll do it at Bowman Field. Oh, we'll do it, everywhere else that is on the list.
Should be a fun night at Louisville Slugger Field, 8 p.m. on Friday night. Maybe I'll see you there. Maybe I'll take your picture there. Look forward to it. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric Crawford for WDRB Sports.